Hello everyone, welcome to this session on GRE verbal ability. This is our second lesson and the topic are roots, prefixes and suffixes. I'm your presenter Bhuvi Jain. I am an electronics engineer from NIT Trichy from the times it was known as REC Trichy and have taken the GRE in my times, and I would like to share some tips on how to learn new words, and you could follow me at the link given below. Today's lesson is about breaking up words to understand them better. The first word that I got acquainted with by this breaking up technique was pandemonium. This was the Milton's name for the capital of hell in his famous Paradise Lost. Now let us break up this word and see what it means. Pan, demon, eum. Pan means all. Demon, we all know what it means, and eum is home, like auditorium, etc., and pan is panacea, cure for all ills, etc. So pandemonium is where a place where all devils live. So you can imagine what such a place would be. So the pandemonium means utter chaos. So this is very useful, a very useful technique for you to know whether a word has a positive or negative connotation, whether it means less or more of something, whether it means the same or the opposite, besides a host of other things. So there are three ways a word can be broken up. So one is roots and prefixes, which are the start of the word. Then there is the middle, the stem of the word, and then suffixes come in the end. Prefixes and suffixes together are often known as affixes. Now, roots and prefixes can be used interchangeably, and we are not going to bother about which is which at this stage. So some roots are aba, daya, etc. Prefixes do not change, they kind of alter the complete meaning of the word when they are put, like contra indicate gives the opposite of indicate, etc. So now let us move on to suffixes. Suffixes are a letter or group of letters attached to the end of the word, which either alters its meaning or the way it performs grammatically, like democracy. So democrat will give us democracy, Hinduism, Hindu will give us Hinduism, etc. So now these some of, if we can identify some common roots, prefixes and suffixes, life gets very easy. So let us, in this lesson, we are going to talk about some useful roots. So first of all, an, ana, what they exactly, whenever you add a in front of a word, when you see that, it usually means without, not, absence of. So for example, take a word called agnostic. Agnostic is a, without, no, knowledge comes from no, and ik is usually a person. So an agnostic is a person who does not believe God exists or who does not know about the existence of God. Similarly, take another word called anachronism. Now, when you break it up, ana means against, krona has to always do with time, ism is a condition. So, this is something located at a time when it could not have occurred, that is out of proper time, anachronism. For instance, if you see a cell phone in a this thing in an period movie, then you can say it's an anachronism. Cell phones did not exist then. Similarly, anarchy is without a ruler, so it is state of lawlessness arising from absence of authority. Another would be abs. These mean take away from, remove, off. So abstain is to keep away from, refrain from. Similarly, abdicate is is to remove, dictatus is proclaimed, so formally relinquish power, for example, give up the throne, etc. Abrade is aba, to and to scrape. It's to wear away by friction or erode. So now you can start by learning synonyms of those words. So synonym of abrade would be corrode, scour, flay, strip. So you can start writing down and making notes with about these new words that you learn. Now similarly, there is one this thing root called acer. Acer, acid, acri. All of them mean harsh, bitter, sour, like a lemon. So acrimonious, acrid, acerbic, all these are sour and astringent tasting, and they mean a person with a sharp tongue. So they are all synonyms, you could say, in a way. So pick up a word called exacerbate and break it up, and you can see X means to increase, as in expand, acer is acidity, and ate is to do something. So it means to make worse. So his rabid anti-national speech exacerbated the situation, and there was widespread rioting. So you can make sentences to help you remember words. Now another root would be ambi. Ambi is around on both or on both sides. So ambivalent is having conflicting feelings. This you can break up as ambi and valent. Valence means plus or minus. So it means that someday it is plus, someday it is minus. So to have conflicting feelings. Similarly, ambidextrous. Dextra word always is connotated with the hand. So ambidextrous is somebody who can use both their hands well. Similarly, you come to another this thing called amb or ambul. These are connected with to move. So ambulate is to walk from place to place. Perambulate is to walk from place to place with no particular goal. So from this, a word called perambulator is derived, which we call pram, that is to carry a baby from place to place. Now dia. Dia is across, through, or between. So dia is something through which you can see through. So diaphanous is dia, phanis is to show. So it is sheer, transparent, see through. You have again got some synonyms here. Similarly, pick up a word called diatribe. Diatriben is to rub. So this means it's a thunderous verbal attack against somebody. Diatribe. Here there are some difficult synonyms which you can learn simultaneously: fulmination and denouncement. Similarly, the word called soph. Sophy is a word which means shrewd, wise, skillful. So sophistry is tricking someone with a plausible argument. So sophistry is a word that has come from Sophy. You can think of another word called sophomore, which is a second year student. And sophomore also is derived from this, meaning a second year student doesn't quite know everything but acts like he knows everything. So that is how the word sophomore has also come. Then there are these suffixes. So suffixes are fairly easy to learn, and so I'm not going to go very much into detail. There is os, verbose, lachrymose. So they are all a form of, full of, or characterized. So verbose is full of words, so he talks too much. Lachrymose is full of tears, he cries too much. Dextrose is full of sugar, it's a form of sugar. So similarly, there is ion, ion, ic, ILE. I would suggest, if you want to, and if you're curious, you can just pause here and read this slide. Otherwise, these words are not very difficult. To sum it up, there are hundreds of roots and prefixes and suffixes without which have been borrowed from Latin, French, German, Anglo-Indian, and Anglo-Saxon languages. So these will form several thousand words. It is not possible for us to, learn all these words. This episode has merely scratched the surface of the richness and the complexity of English. So there is actually some method in the madness which we call English. A lot of people make fun of the English language, but if you can really find some method, there is some method. The only option for you to prepare for GRE is to read, write, and practice, practice, practice. And I'm sure today you have learned some words. And if you follow along these lines, you would be able to learn a lot of words. So until next time, goodbye.